Doctors of Reddit, what are the dead giveaway signs that someone is faking? Brief note for all the student doctors out there. People can pass stroke field tests and still be having a stroke. I could do everything on the list while I had a clot in my brain, verified by CT and MRI. Except I couldn't stop vomiting. Good times. Be aware sometimes shit doesn't look like you think it should. My husband had the same when he had his stroke, though he also had extreme vertigo. Took a CT to confirm his stroke. I'm a nurse on a floor that deals with a lot of chronic and acute pain patients. Most recent instance was this lady from a few weeks ago that was apparently splitting the oxycodone we were giving her in half in her mouth, and then when the nurses' backs were turned, she would stuff it in a pill jar. A night nurse caught her in the act and all of her shit had to be searched. We found 20 half tablets of oxycodone she had been stashing. She told us that she was saving them for her family in case they need them because it's just so hard to get an oxycodone prescription these days. I had her a few days after that, and she was having some abdominal pain. Stat X-ray showed only gas. She just really needed to fart. But she was screaming, claiming it was a 10, and making a huge fucking scene. She demanded dilaudid through her 4, and she wanted it to be pushed fast. Huge red flag right there. She wanted the high, not the relief. Doc straight up said he wouldn't give her dilaudid because she was already on so many opiates. She then demanded lorazepam, still through her 4 of course. Doc was like fine whatever, just one time and only a low-end dose. I was flushing her 4 with normal saline first, to make sure her 4 was patent, and she leans back and is like, oh, that's so much better already. Hadn't even given her the lorazepam yet, SMDH. For real though, gas pain is no joke. I was once rushed to the hospital, car, as I knew I couldn't afford an ambulance, because I was doubled over in pain crying. I thought that something had ruptured or exploded. They weren't busy at all this night and got me back within 15 minutes of showing up. I don't like pills. Never have, because I know I had an addictive nature when it comes to substances, so I just avoid them altogether. So they do their test and scans and the doc comes in and tells me it's just severe gas buildup. I'm in tears still and ask the doc how the hell can gas cause this much pain and that it's gotta be something else. Doc says let me give you something and if that doesn't work we can try something else. I'm like okay cool, because no way gas hurts this much. 30 minutes later I'm in the bathroom like I just spent an hour at Taco Bell. The doc comes in to check on me when I finally manage a free moment. I can't help but look dumbfounded. Since they weren't busy at all, he sat down and explained that since I have IBS I need to be more careful with my intake or else this could happen again. All the while I felt like a complete dumbass because gas had me in tears. I thanked the doc. He gave me some gas relief pills and suggested some diarrhea meds in case it happens again. I've never in my life been so sure it wasn't something only to be proven wrong. IBS can be a B-star. My first time experiencing it was at the first family day I joined with my then boyfriend. Terrible pain, we were thinking about going to the hospital because I was just bent double in the toilets. At one point I laid on my left side on the floor of the bathroom stall and the biggest fart comes out along with a huge relief. Everything was fine again and I felt super embarrassed. An X amount of time later I had to visit his GP with the same symptoms, but to be sure it wasn't an appendicitis. Again IBS. Since then I just assume it's IBS and take rest, try to get my bowels to move, etc. Since my uterus and ovaries are shut down it's way less, so probably they added to the IBS pain too. Obligatory, not a doctor, but I got a call from my son's school nurse when he was in 2nd grade, and the conversation went like this. Nurse sounding upbeat and cheerful says, "Your son wants to tell you his terrible news." Son gets on the phone, says, "Hi mom, I cut my finger off." I ask him, "Where is your finger now?" "Son, I put it back on." I said, "Can I talk to the nurse?" Nurse gets on the phone again, says, "Sounds serious, right?" I asked, "Does he have a substitute teacher today?" Yes. I told the nurse to let him know I will take him to the hospital for a shot for his finger, to which he says I think it's okay. I glued it on really good. Nurse kept him in the office for a bit to talk about scary changes in the classroom. I went to emergency once with intense chest pain. The young, new, doctor I saw first listened to my chest and immediately concluded I had pericarditis, but the supervising doctor decided I was faking it for drugs for some reason. The next morning I woke up to a psychologist in my room asking all sorts of random shit when an orderly interrupted because the ultrasound guy was in and wanted to see me first thing, I think after talking to the first doc I saw. Turns out I had pericarditis and myocarditis, and the dude wheeled me out himself and told them order an ambulance to take me to a hospital with a cardiac clinic. I don't know why anyone would want to fake anything medical. Unconsciousness in particular. I got a compound fracture recently and called 911 on myself and was put on hold. Fun stuff. But got through and asked them to send help. Operator was a badass and kept asking me questions to keep me conscious. The ambulance folks arrive, casually got out of the ambulance, walk up to me and then saw the bone sticking out of my body, and said, quote, "Oh. You're actually hurt." Yes. Did you think I called 911 because I spilled some lemonade? Then it occurred to me that most of their calls must be horseshit. But to cause me even more confusion, I received close to a $2,000 bill for the privilege of actual help and the ride to the hospital. That ludicrous bill is no fault of the M's. I'm very much appreciative of their existence and they don't get nearly enough credit, but the best part of receiving that bill? The ambulance ride was roughly $1,850. The fentanyl they gave me was $2.15. The US health system terrifies me more than any illness. I can't imagine wondering considering the costs if I was injured or seriously ill.